I've been waking at 10 missed calls. Another email that I ain't replied to. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to Premier Battles. I go by the name of Bison Briggz, one of the co-owners of the league alongside Shotty Horror. This is a new series we're going to be launching while we are all on lockdown and doing absolutely nothing in our houses. We've got no battles coming out, so I thought I'd talk shit with a load of good mates of mine. But joined today with the Academy 18 champion, Shark
What's good?
LSDean, what's going on, bro? Is it LSD now, or Dead Boy, or / Dead, or?
Just for battling LSD.
But so you just keep it that far battling?
Yeah. I'll probably change my mind, but who knows? Keep them on your toes, you know what I mean?
LSDean's just the battling. What's your music name now? It's Dead Boy, or?
/ Dead. I just found that it was hard with like the search algorithm. There were a few Dead Boys out there. Yeah. And then the only thing I had to differentiate it was a yen sign, but who's got a yen sign on the keyboard? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I
was like /
when you told me to put a / sign on, I was like, how the fuck do we make it?
Yeah, I literally, I had to do like command prompts for it, so I just thought / dead. No one's got that. Like, if you type it into Google, it puts you on a register. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on here?
What's going on?
So I was like,
how's everything on fucking coronavirus side? Are you good on that?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm an anxious guy, innit? So I thought I've had it like 4 different times.
Yeah.
Like,
mate, that's the paranoia. I've been like, I can't hear out of this ear at the minute. It's blocked. It's paranoid. You start thinking, fuck, I've got it. I'm gonna die.
Well, the main thing to watch out for, I've heard, is your loss of taste and smell.
Yeah, my missus has got that.
But yeah,
I've got my.
Yeah, my nose is my nose is messed up, so like I could barely smell anywhere. So it's just like
just don't get you through it. What are you doing for fucking boredom? Yeah. Writing music or
writing music, running, working out, reading. Just I have a little schedule. Honestly, if it wasn't for like not being able to work, I'd be enjoying this. Like, I get to run, I get to work out, I get to read. No one bothers me. Like, apart from the fact the world's ending. No, I'm saying apart from working.
All right.
Like, that's all I'm missing out on. But
that's one thing I thought finally important. Still keeping a routine, mate. I'm still getting up, doing my normal shit.
Definitely.
Getting dressed every day is a big one. So you've just had your Koj battle come out as well, which ironically came out the weekend we went into lockdown. So you are the first lockdown.
It's a pretty good time for a battle to come out. To be fair, like.
What do you think of that battle? You picked up the win, especially with Koj, who's, no bullshit around. Koj is one of the top guys on his day in the UK as well.
Yeah, man. I was really happy with it. I thought that I'd finally struck my balance in the main Premier battles. I thought I finally kind of got the style that I want to go for, and I'm not trying to be something else.
Yeah.
And it was the first big win against a veteran. I thought it was a pretty clear win, but it's good that like people are debating it, because no one wants a clear win if it's not like. I mean, everyone wants a clear win, but no one wants like an unwatchable battle.
That's it's a ball for you though, because if, like you say, if it's a wash, then it's like no one will watch it.
Yeah, man.
If they're debating because it was a good battle.
Yeah, man. I really enjoyed that battle. Like, if anyone's not seen it, definitely go check it out. I think it's one of my best. It's probably my best battle ever. Like, people debate that in major, but I preferred the Koj battle, honestly. Like, it had everything.
Performance.
Yeah, definitely. I had everything. Like, I go back and forth because that was originally scheduled for All Star, and I think, should that have been on All Star? Do I want my best ever performance? But then you can't judge how that room would have felt. You can't judge the dynamics of it. I actually added my last round, which was my second round, after All Star, so obviously I'd be a round down, and the original round wasn't the same at all. It was quite different. So who knows? Like, I'm glad it happened the way it did, because obviously got a pretty convincing win against one of the best in the UK.
The All Star crowd was pretty weird anyway, so you might have had a great battle that just didn't pick up. Like, some of the battles on that crowd, even the Academy final just flopped crowd wise. Like, I was just saying this to someone else then, like, in terms of actual performance and bars, Milky and Visual was a great battle, but the crowd was so, compared to the 2018 final with you and Major, the crowd were heavily involved from the word go on that event. which added to your battle. Like your battle was, people were saying it was performance of the night with Soul and Ilmac, which is mad for an academy, a tournament. For
yeah, definitely. Look, I credit the crowd for that 100%. The crowd were amazing in that battle. Like they really, really made us feel loved from the start. Really, like, because sometimes when you're lesser known to a crowd, like you feel like you're working your best. You feel like they're not reacting to stuff that they'd react if someone else said it. But that All-Star final was just like people just wanted to watch battle rap. People weren't there for anything else.
Especially when you're first on as well. Usually you kind of expect it to be a bit subdued. Not everyone's in.
Yeah, slow starter.
But do you think we're going through the academy was because I remember when you first came into the academy and we only got the shout. Was it 24 hours before the first?
It were a few days, yeah. Because Raptor gave me the shout.
I was with Raptor and someone dropped out and was like, who can we put in? And then Raptor mentioned yourself. And I'll be honest, at first I was a bit hesitant because I know you'd already done a shitload of battles. So it was like, was you even LSDean then? Or was you just Dean?
Yeah, I was LSDean.
So it was like, why would he go into this tournament? Because it makes no sense that he's battling. I think he'd just done a Dub Scandal battle or something a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
So it was like, it makes no sense, but obviously put you in it. Did you just do that on the whim sort of thing because Raptor shouted you, or did you even know what it was?
Well, I knew what it was. I really wanted to get into the academy. Like, I didn't apply for the academy because I thought, what's the point? I've done so many battles, like you say. And then I went to the first Premier Battles event, and I was just blown away by it. And I was like, I need to get into this. So I was always telling Jay and always telling Raptor when I saw them, like, I need to figure out a way to get into Premier Battles. And I think it was probably in the back of his head when he's thinking about it. But yeah, it was a weird one as well because I showed up and I was supposed to. I can't even remember who it was I was supposed to battle, and they didn't even show up.
Was it Raw Talent?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was Raw Talent, and they didn't even show up. So I ended up just having to freestyle against Jay, and like just someone who wasn't even supposed to be here battling someone. Like it was a whole mess, but somehow got through. And then just tried my best to get me bearings.
Because I think the thing is with you, Dean, when you went into the academy, because you'd been about for, say, 2 years, and, being honest, you wasn't at the heights you are now sort of thing in regards to battle. Yeah. You're still sort of making debuts on leagues, and there was sort of like a no expectation of you to go through to that next round. I think that's why when you did what you did with the academy, it was sort of, even though Major was new and everyone was excited because he was new and shiner, you sort of had the underdog story of, this guy wasn't even expected to get past the last 16, you know what I mean? Because of your previous battles in other leagues.
Yeah, it's been hard to win people over, though. It's been really hard to win people over because I think there's a lot of people in battle rap who don't actually watch any battles.
Yeah.
So they just like to get an idea of a guy, and then it's going to take a lot for them to change their idea.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, really. Because, you had a lot of people who were like, the only reason he's won the academy is because he's friends with so-and-so. And it's like, listen, everyone's mates, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, cool. The only reason I won is because I put in work. Like, you're the first person to tell me when I do something, it doesn't go well. I never hear the end of it.
You've got to be like that with people, because the thing is with me, obviously, because I used to work for Don't Flop and running Premier Battles, I never want to feed people's egos just for the sake of booking them. Like, if it's not working, we need to understand why it's not working. Like, for example, when we did the Apex card, originally you wasn't on the Apex card, you went to the night before. Yeah. And it wasn't because of your talent or ability. It was like, at the minute, fans are not buying into Dean the way we need them to buy into Dean. So putting you on Apex was like us just going, oh yeah, he's with us, we'll just put him on Apex. It didn't make sense at that time.
It didn't look good. Yeah.
We was getting a lot of flack at the same time because we'd give Bobby twerk as well, and people were like, oh, they're just booking the mates and all that bullshit. We was like, Dean's at a point where we want to put him on Apex. I already said to you at the start of the year, get 2 wins under your belt, you'll be on Apex from the goal. Like, I pretty much said that to everyone. If you keep winning till Apex, you'll be on Apex. Same with the All-Star game. Yeah. Obviously, he was meant to be on the All-Star game against Cole J anyway, but Cole J no-showed. Well, not no-showed, he backed out. Was it like 5
He gave us like... Yeah, it was about 5 days' notice.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot, but yeah, so that would happen. I mean, it'd be ideal to get you, for someone who's come through the academy with us, to then go to the All-Star or Apex against an international or a top UK guy is the dream scenario for us anyway, but we can't just force that to happen for the sake of going, this is LSD or major concerns or milky or visual, you know what I mean? It has to be warranted of why you're in that spot, because otherwise it just...
Yeah, exactly.
If we go, right, yeah, LSD won Academy 18, there's Real Deal, and then Real Deal washes you, everyone just goes, oh, he only got that because he won a tryout tournament. Like, it devalues what you actually did, you know what I mean?
Well, having that experience of taking the losses has improved me so much as a battler, because I got into main Premier battles and I just like, right, I've done all this stuff just to win battles. Now I want to do my own specific style that I love, and it just wasn't winning any battles. And it was reinforcing that note that you need to do the stuff that actually gets you to win. You need to do the stuff that actually make people like you. So I needed those losses. So
I think the Academy 18 helped in the sense of you was a good battler because you had bar. There's a lot of battlers who were like let's go before the Academy, who were like you, who had bars, but they had no help around them, and no one really knew where to categorise you. What the Academy did, from my perspective, was made people go, this is LSD, and his style's like this, and this is how he performs. Whereas before then, you might have just seen your name on a card, probably not watched the battle. If, like you say, a lot of fans don't watch battles, and they'll just go, oh, yeah, he's only battling so-and-so on Dub Scandal. Let's not even bother watching it, when in fact you are.
Yeah, man.
Like, look at Jay Short versus Aker. People didn't know who Aker was until he battled Jay Short. And that was
such a crazy battle.
Yeah. But I think that's what the Academy did well in the first year, was build stories. We did do it as well in the second year, just because of Aker.
That's what I've always... When I've done battle rap, I've always loved tournaments. That was always my favourite thing in battle rap, and that's what because people forget, like, this isn't just doing the Academy wasn't my first good run. My first good run was Amity and Bizzo, beating both for Don't Flop, and like I was gonna battle JB on the Christmas card way back, office Christmas party, I think it was, and I had to cancel for health reasons a week before, and that kind of really derailed things. But back then, all I ever wanted to do was get in a tournament and win a tournament, and then I was doing so many stop and start battles that weren't for anything. They were just to get my name back out there, and I just wasn't motivated at all. Whereas some tournaments, you need a structure. You need a structure and something to work towards. Because it's way easier to write for a good battler than it is to write for a bad battler. And most people just won't do it.
Well, it's the thing. I was just saying this to. I just did a podcast with Jan a minute ago, and I was saying the thing with the Academy was it forces you to battle people you might have turned down. So, for example, like one of the I was talking to Georgie Roots about doing the Academy 20. So I spoke, Georgie applied for it, and I hit him up straight away, like, look, you've done a few battles, you've got a bit of a reputation. Do you want to do the Academy, or do you just want to come and battle on the platform anyway? And Georgie said, I want to go through the Academy. The reason being is, at the minute, I'm just battling off hype. I want to battle people no one will put me against, so I can actually see where I am and who I am better than or not, which is the right attitude sort of thing. Like, so who did you end up battling in the Academy? You probably battled people you never thought you would ever go against.
Tidal, Deviant, who I'd turned down before, DARPA and Major, those four. Which, to be fair, aren't a bad four, but if you told me before the Academy to battle like Deviant, I probably would have been hesitant about it, but then I did it. And I also think there's something we don't talk about in battle rap, that like having not just an angle, but having something to talk about in the first place is hard. And when you have a structured academy, you have another topic. Because when you first start battling, your first few battles aren't about your opponent. Your first few battles are about yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't succeed after those first 3 battles, let's say, after a while, you're just saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's everybody you face. Yeah.
No, definitely. So that's what I mean. So when you're going through these, your Deviants, your DARPAs, and we was putting out episodes at that time, we stopped doing it. We've got them here. We're going to put them out, but
I love the episodes.
I think that's what
honestly, like for me, it really is, because it gives fans a little insight. Like everyone jokes about the Team Talk stuff, but it was great. It was fun, and some people bought into it, some people didn't. But it was heels and faces. You know what I mean? By the semi-finals, people were backing DARPA because they were just so sick of Team Tox.
Oh, mate, people really wanted DARPA to knock you out the semi-final just because of the Team Tox link. Like, no one wanted the final.
Which gives people another thing to rap about. It get when I battled DARPA, like a lot of it was about Team Tox. A lot of it was about, oh, you think we're this way and we're this way. If we just battled like just a one-off battle on the bottom of a card, what if one of those rounds would have existed? The rest of them, we would have been scraping the bottom of the barrel, thinking of something else to say, being like, oh, well, on Facebook in February, you were saying this.
What I think was good about your year of the Academy, though, is, and this is taking nothing away from 2019, because there was some like visual milker came through nice. Everyone was on point in the Academy 18. I was saying this to Jan then, like the last 16, there was only one no-show and no chokes. In Academy 19, there was 3 no-shows, and I think every battle bar 2 had a choking. Which, you can't blame, in some perspective, the Academy going, oh, this isn't as good as last year, because we can only do so much in facilitating the battles, and it's on the battlers then to do the rest. Whereas your year was everyone was so on point, everyone was so tight. It made fans invest in people like yourself and Major, who, like I say, Major had never battled before. By the end of it, people were talking about him battling fucking everyone.
I mean, it's like, what, it's basically a year, 3 months after his debut, and he's battling Chilla Jones.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The thing with the Chilla Jones battle as well is we sent Chilla Jones a list of names, and he picked Major Concerns. We didn't just book that.
Yeah, man.
So it kind of shows where everyone was at. And even, I think Chilla even said it in his battle, didn't he? He should have been battling you. So, people...
I was so... Mate, I remember it. This is... Chilla is like... They always say, like, your favourite people. Chilla, in my English language A-levels, I wrote an essay about Chilla Jones versus JC. I got an F. My teacher was just like, what are you doing? But that's like for me, standing there and Chilla Jones is like, this should be LSD's battle. I'm like, yes, it should. Yeah. They were great.
I think if you're going to be honest, going from... So, you won the Academy, yeah? You joined Shark City.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a right move or a wrong move looking back?
Right move for where I am now, wrong move for that year.
Okay, why?
Because being in Shark City and losing all those battles has made me a better battler. Yeah. I think the battler I am now and the battler I would be if I joined Pride, I think I'm better.
Yeah.
But if I joined Pride, I would have won more battles.
Okay. Do you think that's any reason, or just because of the opponents would have been different?
The opponents would have been different. I think maybe a bit more care because the first I would have had to battle an Irish person first. Yeah. I would have probably battled a Terminator or a Johnny Darko. Would have been, and respect to them, especially Johnny Darko. That's my guy. Actually, they're both my guy. Yeah. But it would have been a hell of a lot easier than Matter in Leeds.
Yeah.
Matter in Leeds, like, even when he's coasting, it's Matter in Leeds. And then it's Briggsy in Manchester.
Yeah, too old.
And then it's Lazy when everyone hates you. Like, it was a tough run.
I think the thing is, well, like, I remember saying this to Shotty. So when we did the Academy final, obviously people don't realise you have to do 5 battles in the space of a year for the Academy, which is a lot of rounds to write.
Yeah, man. There were some rounds I was casting.
Yeah, a lot of people who were doing the match day battles didn't realise they'd have to be doing 3 or 4 battles a year. So doing 5 bi-monthly as well, like it wasn't a break really. You finish one, you were through, you were writing straight away. So the idea was, you won the Academy. So rather than throw you straight in February, let you have a couple of weeks of break, re-galvanise it. Because if you would have come out of the Academy, got into match day 1 and got washed, people would have gone, oh, you can only win a tryout tournament. Like, it would have devalued again what you've just done. So that's one of the reasons we threw Major in. Obviously, Major joined Pride. We had Celts.
He needed the get back.
Yeah, Major needed to go. He needed a big win. So we give him Terminal, who at the time was like, everyone was saying was the best from Ireland, because he'd just done next in line. And we thought, if he beats Terminal, we'll gauge where he's at. Plus, it's a good name on the resume. And people won't go, oh, that's the battler that lost the Academy. It'll be, he can fit straight in. So he builds his reputation. Yeah. Whereas with yourself, we knew you was going to get someone decent off the back of it. I think we was already talking about potentially giving you Matter anyway before it even got locked in. And then Mandro came out.
Yeah, and it was awkward because the construction of the teams kind of led to it. Like, it's why rematches need to happen a bit more in battle rap. But I couldn't face Darper. Like, I think the ones I wanted were Lefty or Zen, and neither of those were on it. So it just had to be Matter.
Yeah, which, you know, he's Premier Battles champion now, so it's not. If just in an alternative world, if you'd have beat Matter, that would have springboarded you massively straight away. Yeah,
man. I think I took completely the wrong approach to it. I lost that battle. It wasn't the best battle for me to have, but I took the wrong approach to it. But that's also a good thing in that I learned that approach shouldn't.
Was Matter the biggest name you'd battled at that point in sort of your battling career?
Yeah, definitely. That doubt.
Did you notice the level when you're going against a lad? Did you notice the level of difference anyway? And that's taking
it was interesting because it was and it wasn't. I felt like the level of the big things was the same. The level of the little things was so much higher. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like the level of the writing and the construction, I didn't feel like it was that far apart. But the level of the pacing and the crowd control and the connections, like that was on another level. That was just the little technicalities that aren't necessarily your technical writing, but they're just the little things that you can't really understand till you're on that stage.
Yeah,
it was quite different.
It comes with it because I remember when obviously after Matt and me and you battled, and I remember you had a couple of lines that I reacted to and no one else did, and I could feel that I was winning in that round just because of the way I was looking at your rounds as a fan. I was going, you were rushing through your material a bit.
Yeah.
You know when you're not getting that bit of crowd reaction, every battler does it. They try and speed through the next haymaker to get it hitting as quick as possible.
Yeah.
When someone does that against me, I don't know if it's because I've been doing it for 10, 11 years, I automatically feel that and think, right, well, I'm going to slow down my next round and make sure that every punchline hits and if the crowd don't react, I'll react to it so they react to me reacting to it. So it makes it like shift back into your favour. And I think that just comes with sort of, you probably want
it's just experience.
Definitely.
No, it's experience. And like the academy's got some very valuable things though. Like, but we also, when we do the academy, we definitely need to stick to that Academy 1 structure, change it a little bit, but like things like Visual is Battle on All-Star with his first battle with an actual proper audience.
Yeah.
Like, whereas All-Star, the Series 1, we had that really nice pacing of a small room, medium room, big room.
Yeah. Yeah, you did match day 5, didn't you? Semi-final.
Yeah, which was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably do that this year. Probably put like an undisclosed event on or something and do the semi-final there.
Yeah.
The thing is we had with the first year as well, because Premier Battles was new, everyone was like, the whole league thing fully took off, and Ruby Lounge was such a sick venue.
Amazing venue. Apart from the water price.
Yeah, fucking hell, bloodstruck. It was perfect the way that year structured itself in Ruby Lounge to give you the opportunity to go on to match day 5, open that up. And like you say, a lot of the crowd that probably didn't come to the academy was at the match day anyway and got to see yourself, Major, iKid, and Darper that they probably might have not have watched before anyway. So it kind of opened you up to that. And then obviously the All-Star game. I think if Apex wouldn't have happened, we'd have gone into that All-Star game sold out. The amount of fans I've spoke to that have gone, I didn't buy a ticket to All-Star because I was worried that John wouldn't show up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You get it? So it was harsh on Visual and Milky doing that and stepping into that sort of environment. But like I've just said to Jan then, like, sort of, you're booked to open up that event. At some point in the day, you have to go on stage and do it, whether there's 10 people or 100. Yous were lucky that the venue was rammed by the time yous got on stage. Milky and Visual just sort of had to deal with it. But they both give good performances. Like, they both got, obviously, Milky's stepped out of battling because of his career, but Visual will still be booked on Premier Battles regardless. Most of the academy lot is back in now. Celeste's just come back.
He had a great battle.
Yeah, there's a few. Like, it's just, I don't think there's been many disappointments from that season, from both series, to be honest. One or two people could have probably done better. I mean, first season you had like Kofi and Riser who was in the qualifiers and didn't make it through when they should have just walked at least to the quarters. Second season we had a few who did the same. Graza no showing in the semi-final was a shame. But it is what it is. But in regards
and it's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing to have like not low level but mid level guys in the scene, because you know what? Sometimes you need a jobber. Sometimes you need someone there for someone to beat, and not just that, but like not like to rig it, but for someone like you can't just jump into the big leagues. We need a nice little healthy mid crop.
Maybe it's like
people
football.
who just enjoy it. Yeah, man.
Football, like, you know, I look forward.
We need a West Brom.
I look forward to doing yourself, Major, Visual, and Milky, for example, 4 academy finalists. Yeah, the ideal goal is within 5 years, use 4 of the top 4 faces that we can put against whoever we bring over. Because, like you say, look, the top tier from the last 5 years, Dialect's gone, Raptor's pretty much out of the league.
Yeah,
Gemini has not battled for a year and a half or something. Shuffle and Marlowe barely battle now. Like, all these top guys are the only real active ones we've got left is Yunnan. Bobby does once a year, and that
Matter.
What Bobby turns up. Matter is the champion of Premier Battles, and he does 15 battles a year. Like, Matter's one of them where he's an enigma. Matter. He seems like he can never lose.
Yeah,
but he's not.
He does the exact right amount.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is with Matter's one of them. He's very UK eccentric. Like, a lot of international fan base won't know who Matter is, or like when we booked Big Cannon versus Matter, Cannon was saying no at first, even though he was the champion. He was like, I don't know who he is, and that's taking nothing away from Matter because over here he is such a staple of UK battle rap. But
yeah,
the ideal goal is within 5 years, mate. We need to get back to whether it's us or Don't Flop or whoever needs global faces back. And if one of them can be from the academy, then it's done its job. You know what I mean? So it'd be perfect. But so you went to Shark City. Did you notice the difference with the Shark City and the academy teams?
There was less communication. When Tox joined, that kind of changed, but there wasn't so much communication. But I expected there not to be. Like, it was more self-regulated. It was more, right, you better be on this. But I think second season...
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, there was the issue with Rivers, which I don't understand still.
Yeah.
I wasn't really involved in it, so I can't really talk about it. It didn't seem like much of a big deal to me.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a big deal, but obviously if people have an issue that never gets...
Hey, mate, if people think it's an issue, then we'll do Rivers versus Tox, Rivers versus me, and Rivers versus Briggsy, and we'll sell some tickets. You know what I mean?
It's one of them. Battle Rap's one of them things. If someone has an issue bottled up and it never gets addressed, then the next time they get another issue, it's just going to boil over, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly.
That's what happened there. You know, I've spoken to Rivers since. We're cool, and it just is what it is. But Shark City,
man. You
joined Shark City like when it fell apart, pretty much. Because Shotty was back.
Yeah, I think that was my fault. Yeah.
I don't think it was your fault, was it?
Oh no, it was all my fault. No. We had Soul, we had Mike P, we had me and Chris. That was the original lineup.
Yeah.
And then Mike P couldn't do it because it just didn't make sense him coming over 3 times a year.
No, well, we booked Mike P versus Soul for Apex, so it was like...
Yeah, that would have been so good, but...
Yeah, we just thought bringing Mike P over twice will dampen his hype for the Soul battle, so it was like, let's kick him off the team and just bring him for that one big battle. Mike P dropped out, and then Rivers came in for Mike P, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then Rivers dropped out, and it just... I feel like if we're going to have teams, they need to be very, very tight-knit, and that wasn't something that we did. And we kind of had it back when the teams became me, Tox, D-Mac, Hades, but then after that, there weren't any more match days. There was the one that just completely fell apart, and that was it.
Yeah.
So we were just on the back foot in terms of, like, we couldn't really establish any form of proper team identity because no one knew who each other were.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we like when I set Pride up. I kind of kept the same team going into the second year. There was a couple changes, like Jay Short came in. Obviously, Major came in, but Major came in as the fifth member. Like we opened up the door one more spot. Who did Jay Short? Jay Short plays one, and then it was Bobby and me and Frankie came in. Who did Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie. No, Frankie was. Yeah, Frankie was Pride season 1.
Yeah, Frankie stopped battling. He said he wanted a break. So I can't even remember who we brought in. But,
yeah, I don't necessarily think the teams are a bad idea because like groups in battle rap do a lot of good.
Yeah,
but definitely need to be better thought out. Maybe less league table, more just loose affiliations.
Yeah,
because like people always slag off the Americans for having like groups and stuff, but
yeah, NWX.
it sells tickets.
Well,
it's a good way to improve yourself as a battler. To have a group chat and you're running your bars past people and like people aren't writing your bars for you, but you've got more ideas in there. You've got more people telling you, oh, I wouldn't do this. I do this. Like
the only thing is, it does dampen matchups. Like the amount of battles that can't happen in America because of 4 people in an NWX. But if you match any of them 4 up, they're going to be classics. But one idea we did have was like we was.
But it's a wrestling thing. When they do break up, it's a headliner. It's a headliner.
Because we was going to
when they finally do DNA K-Shine, I don't know if that's a rematch or whatever, but when they finally do that, they'll kayfabe it all up. They'll have a full-on fake Instagram live beef, everything. That'll headline a big event. That main event. Easy. You know how much money they'll make off 2 mates pretending to be mad at each other?
Oh, mate, sell it. That's something we'd definitely do.
100%.
We Raptor and Kojay, and it just went a bit south, did it?
I've got the WWE Network now because I got it for WrestleMania, and I'm watching all these old like matches and stuff, and I'm learning so much about battle rap from it.
That's mainly us, that.
It really is, to be fair. But
because one idea that we was going to do going into this year was rather than teams, it was going to be camps. You know, like the UFC have like American top teams.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
We was going to do that, so you'd have like Pride would become a camp where you could have up to 10 battlers involved in it, where you just run bars past each other, 2-on-2s, like jumping and all that sort of stuff. But the scene's not ready for that sort of like when we had the idea for Premier Battles was about 7 years ago, and the scene wasn't ready for it. And I think we're in that same boat now. There's not a big enough talent pool to make it self-sufficient.
And it's a production issue as well, because if you're doing like a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but you know, that's something that we can do now. If you're a battler now, learn how to do video editing. Learn what's the best way you can film yourself in your home. Learn what's the best recording setup you can have. Because there's ways we can go forward and we can learn a lot about social media content and just content creation as a whole.
Oh, yeah. We were trying to, like, Joker Star was perfect for that. Like, he started doing them behind the...
Yeah, he was great.
The Knights Table stuff, like, he was doing loads. Because that's what we asked everyone to do. Like, we can facilitate everything to a certain point. So we'll buy all the jerseys, we'll buy all the merch, the scarves. Like, we'll facilitate all that because all that's Premier Battles. All we want you to do is raise your profile as a team. That's why we made all the individual social media accounts. So if Knights want to go and do a music video, it's a Knights music video. It's not Premier Battles, you know what I mean? But it all essentially loops back to this team in Premier Battles. Because, like, remember match day 1, you turn around, bear in mind, this was match day 1, the first year. No one knew the teams, really. But when you turned up and you watched the footage, everyone's got scarves in the air, everyone's got jerseys on. Like, everyone's already tribalised and represented a team that they didn't even know what the fuck was going on. Like, I reckon the 2 trophies in the belt we've got are probably about $7,000 worth of gear. Like, we went out and bought all the glitter and gold. So there is something to physically lift and win at the end of a tournament. And I think that's what the scene missed, but we just got to get back there. Where are you at with battling now? Like, are you still...
I'm still on it. I'm like, you know what? I haven't watched too many battles in isolation, to be fair. I'm kind of stepping away from that. But I think it's something that I want to do. I just need to pick the right opponent. That's something that I've learned last year. Like, I'm not going to force a battle anymore. I'm not going to take a battle just because I think, one, that it's a big name who I should battle. I'm not going to do that anymore. Or 2, that I need a battle, so I'll take a name I'm not excited for, which is what happened with Lazy. No disrespect to him, obviously. Just everyone under the sun knew I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, you were telling me for months you didn't want to do it.
Just because I couldn't think for it. So that's going forward. I'm not accepting a battle unless I can sit back and come up with 3 rounds of ideas for it. You know what I mean? Like, if I think of a name and I think, yeah, I know what I'd say to him or her. Let's be honest, him. We've got no birds left in battle rap. But if I can't think of something to say to someone, I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel because I'm not a super researcher. I don't even watch off the battles of people I battle. Koj, I think I watched like 10 minutes of you versus him. I don't really watch my opponent's battles that much because I don't believe in it. Because I think, you know what?
Whoever I battle, I never watch their performances back because I don't think anyone ever performs like they did in a different battle anyway. Everyone's always trying to adapt. And
exactly.
And that people will try and, like, if I'm going to battle someone, people will be trying to counteract what I do, which means it's pointless watching them against someone else who's not like me because they're not going to be rapping like that. So I just write.
Yeah, exactly.
I basically just write what I think is going to win, and if it don't win, then fuck it, is what it is. I lost. But
so I've got a few people in mind who I think I do want to battle. But the problem is the list's getting shorter and shorter. You know what I mean?
Give me 2 names now you want to battle.
Well, one of them, I've been telling you I wanted to battle for like a year and a half, and apparently he's just retired now. Villain, that was one I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, he's off the board now. It would be a really good battle.
The thing with Villain is, it depends what villain you get. If you get the Raptor villain, great. If you get the Oops villain, it's like...
Exactly.
And, I've got loads of love for Villain. I'm good mates with Villain. I think he's a top lad. But it just depends what Vil turns up. Like, if you go out and beat Villain and he has a stumble and a choke, then it's like, no one's going to watch it. It'll be like, he only beat Villain because he stumbled or he lost his choke. Like,
exactly.
Like, look, if Koj would have choked or completely stumbled his whole round, people would have gone, yeah, Dean only beat that.
It takes away from your win.
Exactly. No one watches it. People will watch it once and just say it's shit, this battle, and then never watch it again. Like, it'll just sit on 1,000 views, you know what I mean? I think I always say this to battles as well. Like, don't be scared of taking a step back after you. If you get a big win, don't think you have to.
That's what Major did, and that worked out so well for him.
Yeah, like take a step, back, another win, and then take 2 steps forward. Like,
another one. I want to battle iKid. I want to do a 2-on-2, and then the one that I really want to do as like an international is like a Loso, a The Saga, an A Ward, especially B Dot, but I'd need one under my belt before B Dot.
Yeah.
But like something like that.
Okay.
Because I'm into like conceptual and I'm into super angling at the moment.
Yeah. So you want to go against someone who can sort of match that with you.
Yeah.
So I asked Yannick this before. I'm going to pretty much ask everyone, I think. If you could put you, like, forget top tier, mid tier, bottom tier, and all that shit. If you could give me 3 battlers that you think are in your tier right now, so we'll get an idea of where you picture yourself.
My tier?
Yeah, so who do you think is, like, on your level right now? Like, if I book you against them, you'll beat them. But it'll be a classic sort of thing.
See, it's 2 questions when you think about it, because I think my tier is different to how fans think my tier is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I beat Koj, I think very clearly. And I asked people who they want me to battle, and people are saying Sam Hypes. I'm like, the man didn't even make it through the academy. Don't talk to me about Sam Hypes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fair enough, he's a lovely guy, but don't talk to me about Sam Hypes and just beat Koj.
So forget the fans. Where do you see yourself at?
Oh man, it sprung me on my toes here. I think I'm comfortably in Major's class.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking. I think if me and Major had a rematch, I think I'd still take him.
Yeah.
So
you still class yourself in a bracket with Major though, even like you've already took a win off.
Yeah, even though he did the chiller battle, I don't think he's necessarily got ahead of me.
Yeah.
I think his chiller performance is still in line with my Koj performance.
Yeah.
I think I beat Zen.
Yeah.
And that's a really good battler. I think I'd beat Hulk. That's another battler I'd love to battle.
So you sort of see
Yeah, man.
Major Hulk. Three good names again though. Like if you battled, obviously you battled
top of the mid tier, pushing.
Okay, and give me two names who are the bracket above them. So if I put you against any of them now and you beat them, and I said, right, this is your next step up, who do you think is the next step up?
Next step up. Oh, that's a tough one, you know. I mean, next step up from where I think I am, you're talking like facing a UK great, you're talking facing someone who's actually held the title. So you're talking your Raptors, your Quills.
Yeah, okay.
They'd have me on my toes, and I'd have to really, 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 really write for it and think about everything.
So that's quite. I'd probably agree with that in the sense of like Raptor and Quill are probably just the level above Hulk, Major, yourself.
Yeah.
That bracket.
They've held a title. They've gone on a run.
Because the only real people above like your Raptor and your Quill really are probably your Shotty, your Tony.
Yeah. That's like upper tier.
Yeah, they're like if you beat them.
Another one. I know this is going to piss people off because I know he's in the upper tier, but Scoop. Yeah. Rivers, I'd love to battle as well. Arkid, I'd love to battle, but that kind of like
Arkid?
No. Never got it in.
Who battled Ike? Oh, was it Major?
No, it was.
Major got to out in the semi-final, did he?
Yeah, he did. I was thinking because Ty was supposed to battle him, and then it became Ty Maverick. Maverick's another one, but he's not on battling. Yeah. That was in the works for Sharks versus Pride, and then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I tell you, Mav's another great one at doing what he needs to, and then just waiting for everyone else to fail, and then being like, I'm the unbeaten one. Give me the shot. It's fantastic. It's one thing I need to just learn to stay away from my keyboard after I win.
I think one thing battlers have got. By the way, this isn't a jab at Mav or yourself, just because I'm just coming off a conversation. I think people need to stop taking into account of the last opponent and you count is where you value that. Like, for example, these people that'll go, oh, I deserve to be paid now because I got 10,000 views on another battle. Whereas if we're being real, I could literally write a sheet out now of what every battle has made financially on Premier Battles. And you're shocked. Like, people who are getting 30, 40,000 views have made 2p. Like, you know, this one thing we're having with battlers at the minute, and it's not just a Premier Battle thing, I think it's the entire scene. Like, I'm not going to mention names, but these battlers that I was recently talking to were asking for 500 quid, and the last battle's on 2,000 views. Like, if I pay you £500 to battle, that means if I'm selling tickets at a tenner, you've got to sell me 500 quid's worth because your YouTube views aren't going to bring that back in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's damaging sort of. I think the reason Battle Rap got to this pinnacle where it was with Don't Flop at the time was people weren't asking for mad money and you were getting paid. If you were getting paid, because a lot of people didn't, but you were getting paid because you were bringing in. Like, the reason Shotty would get paid is because he's selling out an event. You put Shotty versus Tony D on a card, you're selling the Ritz out, you know what I mean? Like, I never got paid for Bamala, and I don't think Shauna got paid for Big J. I don't think anyone else on that card got paid besides Shotty and Tony D, maybe.
Yeah, man, and it's just showing your ability to engage with fans and remind them to buy their ticket. They might not be buying it for you, but you're reminding them to, like, say we had an event right now and Georgie Roots was on it. Who's actually gonna get more revenue for the event in terms of reminding people to buy tickets? Is it the headliner who hasn't posted it on any of his social medias? Is going to ask for 10 plus ones? Only 2 of which he's going to use, or is it the kid that's making videos every day that's on 16 different podcasts? And he's not asking for any money. That's what I did on my run last year. I had like promotional materials for everything. I didn't do it for the Koj because I had a specific idea for Koj of just leaving it completely alone because he'd not showed for All Star. But before I was making material, I was making videos for it. That's how you actually prove your worth.
That's part of the graph, mate. When I was coming up with Don't Flop, like
everyone used to always have the profile. Yeah,
your profile picture with a flyer, like you'd WhatsApp it to everyone. Well, it was BBM back then, but you BBM everyone the fucking flyer. You'd be turning up to the event.
That's what Jan does better than anyone.
Oh, mate,
people can say what they want, but the guy actually gets people's eyes on it. You know what I mean?
Look at Georgie Roots. Georgie Roots is the best example at the minute of a newcomer.
Best example.
Like I've only watched one of his battles, but I knew who he was before I watched that one battle, just because of the amount of good. Not these two differences is attention, which is negative, where Jan is susceptible to that. Like Jan was loud. I just said this to Jan. Then his personality is Marmite in it. You love him or you hate him. And people have this opinion of Jan, for example, where he's a waller. But if you know him, he's actually cool as fuck. He's safe. He's a good lad, Jan. Whereas Georgie Roots built a reputation of being a sick battler, but nobody had seen him battle. So it made everyone go, who's this kid? I want to watch this kid. Which is like, sort of what the academy did. Like, you know, Major, no one had seen Major battle. The amount of attention he got after that bombshell performance. People in the forum going, this kid, Major concerns, he's one of the best ones to watch out for. And it's your performance is your standpoint. And Major's like, for me, I see Major as sort of like a soul. He doesn't have to promote anything. People are just interested in what he's going to do. There's only a small bubble of battlers that have that, which is weird. But at the same time, Major will probably go to a certain level where someone who's, say, for example, Georgie Roos is as good as Major battling. He'll probably go international. He'll probably go to King of the Dot because they're seeing his face everywhere. They're not just seeing how good he is as a battler. Bobby Rex is the best example of it. Bobby Rex made one of the biggest fucking social media runs I've ever seen a battle do, and he went around the world.
It's crazy. Like, I still go back to some of his old videos as well. Like, he was putting in, like, promotional. I don't think there's anyone who's gone on a run like that in terms of promo.
Mate, Shotty used to always say one of the reasons he got promoted was because his promotion was on point. Every day he was sharing his flyers, he's sharing when he was like heavily battling, doing press conferences. Like, I think Shotty was the first actual Dolphlop press conference, and then he went Canada and done the Hitman Hollow press conference. Like, he was trying to, even when he'd done the Hitman Hollow one, turning up in a 3-piece suit and all that, like he was selling this idea that this is a superstar, even if he didn't like it.
Which is that's something we wanted to do for Apex, but it's just getting the professionalism there from the actual rappers. Yeah, like everyone, UK and US.
He was one of the very few that was sort of behind the scenes when the whole Apex shit happened. So you kind of seen everything.
Oh man, that day was impressive.
It was a nightmare.
Everyone was so on edge about everything.
Oh mate, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. That honestly, like.
It was the Madflex flight situation. That was the most mental. Just
we forget about Tay-Rock and JC and all that. You had that, then you had a hurricane which wiped out the airport.
Yeah, shit.
So I lost 1,500 quid.
You flew him to New York, didn't you?
I had to fly him from New York because he was meant to fly from Tampa to Manchester. That flight was cancelled. They didn't refund it because it was an act of God. So I had to pay another flight for him to go to New York, from New York to Dublin. I think he went from Tampa to Atlanta, from Atlanta to New York to Dublin, Dublin to Manchester, and then Shox no-showed. And then Madflex, he had to was he a tornado?
He went to Paris. He went to Paris, and then we went across Paris, like, with no euros or anything, and no idea of how the Paris like tube system works.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Then he went across, and then he got in. Was it the morning of the event he got in, or was it the night before? No, it was like,
I don't know.
It was like 11
I left yous the day before because I was like, no, I'm just prepping all day.
Yeah, it was like 11 o'clock. So I went with Jan to the train station, to the airport. And then obviously that happened, and then I was saying this to Jan, like, fuck, we don't have luck with these events, these big events, like the first All-Star game.
You know what though? Next time there's a big event, that's when we need to be filming a lot of content. Because I imagine if we'd had behind the scenes cameras for all of that, you would have hated it in the moment. But that's drama. That's something.
I started working on an Apex movie, didn't I? Because I had loads of interviews and stuff. Yeah. I've got all that there. I've started editing it, but I've just not had time to finish it.
You just put the stressful piano behind you, going, I don't know how we're gonna get Madflex.
Mate, it's yeah.
The BBC Three piano.
Oh mate, that was a stressful time. And then the All-Star was even worse. Like,
I wasn't about for that one.
The All-Star went smoothly in regards to, but I was that ill. I spent 3 days in bed.
Oh, yeah.
Literally walked on stage, hosted the battles, walked off stage and lay down where the DJ booth was. So I didn't see any. The only battle I actually seen was Shotty and John, but I seen it from a distance. But yeah, like Big Cannon missed his flight on the way back, missed his flight on the way there. Just a fucking nightmare again.
This is the stuff that we need to be making more content about there. Because it's drama. People love drama.
So have you got anything in the pipeline at the minute besides anything with Prem? I don't think you got anything lined up with us even, have you?
No, we were talking about doing something for Anarchy, but nothing was locked in because I think we had the discussion about the 2-on-2, and then the next day was pubs getting shut down, and it wasn't locked down yet, but I think we were all just kind of like, yeah, it's coming. What's the point? Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. So that 2-on-2, I'll chase that up because we're gonna do Anarchy when this sort of passes.
I mean, we'll see, because I think this might lead to a few people coming back. You know what I mean? Just like you could probably twist some people's arms to write for something.
Yeah.
Try and get Scoot back. Try and get Villain back. Like just because what else are they gonna do right now? Realistically.
Oh, of course, yeah. We've got 3 events in the pipeline.
Yeah, I know Major wants to do a battle. That could be something.
Do you think, being honest, from your perspective, because I know this was mentioned a few times by the fans, do you think even though you won the Academy, Major got the better looking after it? Because I've seen fans say that before.
I understand that, but also Major was just more popular after it. So what are you going to do? Are you going to book the person who's less popular? No,
because I think at the same time, from our perspective, like after the Academy, Major got Terminal, you got Matter, which in the sense of things, you got the upper hand. And then obviously Major didn't battle anyone till Chiller. And then you had myself and then Lazy on Apex. But if Chiller wouldn't have picked Major on Apex, it would have been Chiller.
Yeah.
Else. He literally got sent a list of 4 names and he picked Major. Because he said he basically wanted to give a top up and coming a 1-rounder. So we sent him 4 names and that's the one he picked.
I understand it, but I ain't with it. Like I needed to lose anyway. I needed to figure out what I was doing.
Yeah. I think you're finding your feet now again, though.
Yeah, exactly. I've kind of got what I want to do with it, and I've got some more weird ideas that I need to run by people. Because originally, like, if it had happened on All Star, it would have been a lot more intense and a lot different. And I think when it got moved to a small room, that kind of helped it because it kind of let me add in a bit more of the humour, which we need more of in the scene in general. Because I was going to go really conceptual on it, and I think it probably would have not gone over very well.
No, sometimes you just got to give the fans what they want, mate. That's the best thing you can do in this.
Yeah, man.
The thing is with this is, like, you've got to win the room when it's being judged because the judges are in the room. They're not watching footage back.
Well, that's like literally like my second round that became the third round against Koji. It wasn't a filler round, but it wasn't like anything like it was the last one I'd wrote, and I was like, no, I don't really want to write this. And then Tox is like, oh, you better write it. So I'm like, right. And like, I didn't think it was going to go over that well. And then it's all anyone bloody talks about.
Yeah.
And I thought my third that became the second was going to be like the big one, and that kind of had a weird reaction to it. So sometimes you just gotta take yourself less seriously. You're not making art. You're slagging someone off for a bunch of drunk people.
Just enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it. It's a sport at the end of the day, isn't it? None of us are walking away from here millionaires, so just enjoy it.
Exactly.
A weekend getaway. As for Academy Twitter, is that something you'd want to get involved in yourself?
Yeah, man. I want to do it as teams again. Okay. I think the team aspect is important, and I'd love to like run a team or just be involved in it, be like a co-manager. Yeah. That's something I want to do.
Yeah, I had a good idea before about potentially doing teams, but doing like yourself and Major as a team and Milky and Ritual as a team.
That'd be great because Milky needs to be involved in some way, and he's such a great personality. And I tell you what, I have like my own little brain trust of people I run ideas by. Adding Milky to my brain trust might be the thing that's pushed me over versus KJ. Like, because Milky is my biggest critic throughout battle rap. Milky thought I lost to DDH on Dub Scandal and wrote like 6 paragraphs about it. And I was like, fuck off, Milky. It's taken me a year to actually be like, you know what, maybe I should read some of the things that Milky says. Yeah. And now I'm like, because we have diametrically opposed ideas on battle rap. But sometimes you need that person in the room who's going to tell you, you know what, that's shit. And you can, if you listen to them, you need someone, you can listen to them and figure out what it is. Because all for the audience are going to think like them anyway. Yeah,
of course.
You need that perspective on it. You need to figure out what's going to please the whole room and not just the people who watch the specific 4 battles that you watched in the last year.
I might do that then. I might do, even if it's not 2-on-2 managers, I might do you on one team, Milky, both academy winners, because there's no one better for the newcomers to speak to than 2 people who've been through it, won it, battled on a big stage. It's a shame Milky can't battle anymore because, you know, he did have a few things lined up, but it's just the way it is. But to keep him involved is good anyway. And
that's something Milky does really well.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Milky. He knows his stuff as well. Just before we wrap up, is there anything sort of you want to talk about or anything you want to ask me or?
Not particularly. Go follow me music /dead. I'm making a bunch of records right now. I'm thinking about maybe dropping a fortnightly 3-track, like every couple of fortnights, or just every fortnight as like a little thing and throwaways. I play with that idea, whether I do it or not sure, because I'm just making like 3 tracks a day, and it's just like at some point I'm just gonna have too big of a stockpile and have to do something with it.
Where can people find you if they want to search it?
SoundCloud.com /dead.
Yeah, I'll put the link in below this as well for the new video as well. So people
I've just realised that could also be confusing. I really don't think my name's through.
SoundCloud.com //dead.
Yeah, there we go. I really did. I never think anything through me, man. Yeah, man. Go watch me versus KJ if you haven't watched me versus Major Concerns.
Yeah.
Tell Briggsy to book me versus someone good, like a Mystery or a Villain or a Rivers.
So if
a nervous laugh. That's it. You're getting Sam hyped and you'll be happy about it. I've mentioned it twice now, so it's going to be the new lazy. Everyone's just going to be like, yeah, do it.
I was going to try and book that for Annika.
Oh, really? Great.
Fuck's sake. Yeah,
we're just sharing the megabus down. Like, he's from Burnley as well, so we just get the same ride.
Fuck's sake. It's been good having you on anyway, bro. Look after yourself during this madness.
You too, mate. You too.
Say, brother. Make sure you click subscribe as well. Leave in the comments anyone you want me to talk to, because I will be talking to quite a lot of people. But yeah, shout out to everyone that's supporting. Go watch LSDean versus KJ. It is out now on the channel. Keep on. I've been waking at 10 missed calls. Another email that I ain't replied to. Another day comes with another stress, and I can't keep up if I try to. Man, it always goes wrong when I try to make right, and I'm always on the grind every day of my life. Man, I'm trying to turn a penny to a million. But I ain't ever paid no price. I don't know about the sacrifice, the lack of sleep, the writer's block, the lack of pee, the lost looks, the fake friends, and the same cycle to the day ends. Man, it's all the same. Fuck a snake. If my line don't ring, I don't want it to. So don't down my line if you want it to, cause I ain't got shit that I want for. See, I ain't got no time for you. Don't call me, there's no line for you. Don't tell me what you're trying to do, cause I ain't got time for you. There ain't no line for you.